Hi, welcome back to Snowdonia Stitches. In today's project I'm going to show you how to make the really cute apple bunting. For today's project I'm going to be using a DK weight yarn. I'm going to be using the James Brett top value in the cherry red and the deep brown. You will also need a stitch marker of sharp scissors, a darning needle and your crochet hook. And today I've chosen to use my 3.5mm crochet hook. So to begin with, we'll take the red yarn and we're going to start with the magic ring. So I'll just run over the magic ring with you for those that are new. So this is how I like to do mine. So I gently wrap the yarn underneath my fingers, holding it slightly with my thumb, bringing it around the top, bringing it back round the back to form a cross. Gently hold the centre of the cross, bringing it back across the top. And then taking my crochet hook, I'm going to put the hook under the top of the first yarn. I'm going to pull the second yarn underneath the first yarn, and then we're going to remove from our fingers, pinching the top of the circle and the base of the loop on your hook. Pull your working tail and then chain one. Okay, and that gives you your magic ring, which means at the end of our project we'll be able to pull this tail and that will close the centre of our work, so we won't be left with a hole in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to be working in US terminology for this project today, and we're going to be starting with double crochets. So we're going to place 10 double crochets into the centre of our circle. So that's yarn over the hook, hook through the centre of your ring, pull the yarn through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so I'll just do another one. Before we move on, we'll just place our stitch marker in there just to mark the beginning of our round. Okay, so again I'll show you slowly. Yarn over, hook through the centre of your ring, pull the yarn through. Okay, 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops left on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we're going to continue working double crochet into the center of the ring until we have a total of 10 double crochets. So I'll place our third, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, some more yarn, and last one, 10. Okay, so now because we've done the magic circle, we can pull this tail end and pull the circle tight. Okay, so we're not left with a big hole in the middle of our work now. Okay, so we're now just going to join the round with a slip stitch. So into the first double crochet of that round, we place our hook through the stitch, pull the yarn through, 2 loops on a hook, and we're going to pop the top loop underneath the second loop. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to be working an increase round. So on this round we're going to be placing 2 double crochet into each stitch around, so at the end of this round we'll have a stitch count of 20. Okay, so yarn over, hook through the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. Okay, so don't move on to the next stitch. So I'll just show you a bit clearer here. So that's the stitch we slip stitched into, and we're going to be working into that exact same stitch for our first double crochet. Okay, so that's 1, and remembering to place your marker to mark the beginning of the round. Okay, and then we're going to place another double crochet into the exact same stitch. Okay, so you should have 2 stitches in the same stitch. And then we're going to work the next stitch in exactly the same way. We're going to place 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, so continue working 2 double crochet into each stitch around, and at the end of this round we will have a stitch count of 20. Okay, so that should be now my 20 double crochet, And what I like to do before moving on is just count back and just make sure we haven't missed anything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's move the stitch marker, 19 and 20. So that's perfect. So you should have a stitch count of 20 now before moving on. So as before, we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch of the round there, and we're going to chain 1. Okay, now we're going to be doing something slightly different. We're going to be placing into the same stitch that we've just slip stitched into a half double crochet. So that's yarn over your hook, hook through the same stitch that you slip stitched into, pull the yarn through. You have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then pop your stitch marker back in there to mark the beginning of this round. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to place 1 double crochet, so yarn over, hook through, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on a hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to place 2 double crochet, so yarn over, hook through, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to place another one in the exact same stitch. This is an increase stitch. Okay, and the next stitch 1 double crochet, in the next stitch 2 double crochet. Let's get some more yarn. Okay, so 2 double crochet, in the next stitch 1 double crochet, in the next stitch 2 double crochet. Just going to do that one again. So 1 and 2. Okay, in the next stitch 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch 2 double crochet. Okay, now in the next stitch we're going to place another half double crochet as we did the very first stitch of the round. So I'll just remind you, so it's yarn over, hook through the stitch, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now in the exact same stitch we've just worked in, we're going to pop a slip stitch. So pull the yarn through, 2 loops on your hook and pull that top loop underneath the bottom loop. Okay, in the next stitch along now, we're going to place a slip stitch. And in the very same stitch, we're also going to place our half double crochet. So yarn over, hook through the stitch, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, in the next stitch now, we're going to place 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. In the next stitch, we'll place 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, 2 double crochet. And in the next stitch is 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch is 2 double crochet. Okay, in the next stitch 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch is 2 double crochet. Okay, and in the next stitch 1 double crochet. And in the very last stitch, we're going to place a half double crochet. So yarn over, hook through the stitch, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And also in the same stitch, we're just going to place a slip stitch. And that finishes the end of the round and your apple. And now we just need to make the stalk. So catch your yarn, yarn over and just pull through to finish. Okay, we can take our stitch marker out, and what we're going to do is take our brown, okay, and we're just going to join our brown into the, you'll see there's a gap here, just above this big gap here you'll see a slight gap between the stitches. And we're just going to pop our hook through there, pull the yarn through, okay, and now we're going to be chaining 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to slip stitch back into that same space that we joined our yarn onto. Okay, and that gives us our stem. We can cut our yarn now, yarn over and pull through to finish, and there we have an apple applique, perfect for our bunting. So all that's left for us to do now is we're just going to sew in our ends, and we now need to repeat this for a further 6 times to make our bunting. I like to have 7 apples on my bunting, but of course you can repeat it however many times you like, or you could perhaps use it as an applique if you want to sew the apple onto something, onto a bag or something you might be making. You can always do that way. I'll sew these ends in out the way. Okay, so that's all my ends done. I'll turn my apple over, and there we have a lovely apple. So there's so many uses for this, so I'm going to carry on and I'm going to make a further 6 apples. Okay, so I've just finished making my apples now, so I've done 7 apples ready to string onto my twine to make my bunting. So I've cut a length of twine approximately 120 centimeters, and I've just tied a loop in one end to stop them falling off the end whilst I'm threading them through. I'm just going to take a wide-eyed darning needle to thread the yarn onto. There we go, thread the twine through the needle there, and then just taking the apples in turn, I'm just going to pick up a couple of loops at the back of each apple and then just pull the twine through. I'm going to continue doing this for each apple. And when I finished, I'm just going to tie another loop in the end here, and there you have your bunting.